Well, howdy, buckaroos. Welcome back to Paul's Messy Bench Models. Today, I've got a review of Romeo Models Veteran Texas Ranger 54mm white metal kit. So about a week ago, I was at the IPMS Nationals Model Show Contest and was having fun hanging out with Craig, the Mutt Modeler, and Brian and Mrs. BG. And I met Andy of Andy's Hobby Headquarters, and he was telling me that he is now the importer and distributor in the US for Romeo Models figure kits. And I bought a couple of them to see what they were like, and they're pretty good. I like them a lot. I'll probably be buying some more. Here's what you get inside the Albanian Chieftain kit. He's a 54mm kit, so that works out to be a little over 2 inches high. Lots of good detail in these white metal kits. Here's a look at what you get inside the Veteran Texas Ranger kit. So he's ready for his close-up, Mr. DeMille, but you can see the sculpting is very nice, very good detail. So this figure is 54mm. If you're used to using scales, that's about 1/32. They may be a little bigger. It'll be a little over 2 inches tall. If you're used to building the plastic figures that come with plastic model airplanes and tanks, these metal figure kits are a nice change of pace. They're very well sculpted. They're intended to sort of be a standalone sculpture instead of an accessory to something else. So the poses are generally more natural looking, and their equipment, it doesn't look like it's something that's glued on after the fact. It actually looks like they're holding whatever it is they're supposed to be holding, and their equipment is pressing down into their clothing. They're generally better quality. If you've never built a metal figure kit before, they're not that much different than working with plastic. Of course, you have to use different adhesives. For load-bearing joints, I generally use epoxy, and for small accessories that aren't going to be subjected to much stress, I'll use super glue. The super glue is more convenient. It works faster, it sets up quick, but over time super glue can kind of get brittle, so I don't use it for joints that are going to be supporting a lot of weight. Also, I usually drill a hole and insert wires into 1 or 2 feet to attach them to the base, just because it's a small gluing area, and these figures are kind of heavy, so the joints at the feet are under a lot of stress. The metal is soft enough that you can cut it and carve it with a hobby blade just like you could plastic. It will dull the knife quicker than plastic will, but you can still do it. Needle files are useful for shaping and smoothing things. To get good adhesion for your paint, you're going to want to use a good primer that works on metal. I used Tamiya spray primer out of a can. That works fine. A first coat of flat or semi-gloss black is helpful to make sure that your shadows are nice and dark. To paint my figure, I used Vallejo and AK water-based acrylics. These work great. Traditionally, a lot of figure painters use artist oil paints. The reason they do that is that it makes blending the colors together much easier, and you don't see obvious lines in between highlights and shadows where you use 2 different colors. To do that with acrylic paints, you can get a drying retarder which keeps the paint from drying out in the brush and on the surface too quickly, so that you can blend them and so that you can use a fine brush without it drying in the brush while you're trying to work. And both Vallejo and AK make a glaze medium, and this is something you can mix into your paint to make it more transparent, and that helps you blend the layers together without obvious lines in between two different colors. If you're interested in some tips on how to paint figures, in the description to this video I'll leave some links to videos by people who are better at it than I am, so check that out. I like the sculpting of this. The pose is very natural looking. The detail of the sculpting is pretty good. So a 54mm figure kit comes in at about 40 bucks. That's a reasonable price for this quality of product. It might seem like a bit much if you're used to working on plastic model kits, but you get what you pay for. And these figures are really good, and considering, you know, how much time you would be spending working on one of these, you know, by the hour, it's pretty cheap. A weekend of fun for 40 bucks is not a bad deal at all. Well, that's all I got for you this morning. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.